Okay, Geeb, we've been talking about this game for the majority of this podcast, and there's something we have kind of tiptoed around the entire time. We haven't really said it, but I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. This is very, very clearly a 2D version of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It's very clear that's what they're doing here. First thing I want to ask you is, how do you feel about that? Is that something you like, or is that something you dislike?
Two parts to it. Majority, I love it. I love the fact that they're taking all of these amazing parts of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and just mashing them up into a chibi art style 2D Zelda game. I just think it's super cool. It's super cute as well. These characters are cute, and everything inside the game looks really well put together and polished. I absolutely love these Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild aspects thrown into this open world 2D Zelda game. Really is what it is. Not that the other 2D games aren't open world. You can make arguments that they are, but for the purpose of this, it's really the first open world Zelda game in terms of 2D. I also don't love it though at the same time, because I kind of wish they would have done some other type of thing for 2D Zelda, because in the way it's always worked is 3D Zelda's had its thing and 2D Zelda does its own thing. And now I feel like they're kind of mashing that together, which again, I don't hate it. I actually love it, but I love it, but I don't love it. I love it, but I don't love it. You know, I'm like, I kind of wish they would have gone completely in a different direction. A part of me, I should say, thinks that they should have gone in a completely different direction instead of just kind of copying what 3D already does.
Okay. I see what you're saying, and that actually kind of brings me to what I want to talk about next. This is a very interesting time in Zelda, like in general, for one reason, and it's what you just said. They're doing the same thing now in the 2D games that they're doing in the 3D games, which you know, that's fine, whatever. But what's wild is all the stuff that they're doing in the 3D games is new to Zelda.
Yes.
Like it's got the same old formula, but this is new. This open world, you know, cooking, having the abilities that you have. They're bringing a lot of those same abilities over. They're taking. Well, they've done it already. They took the 3D Zelda and made it into something completely different, but the same, sort of.
Yeah.
Made it better, expanded upon it.
You could say that it's very same, but it's
same,
different.
But different. Same, but different, yeah. But they're doing the same thing with the 2Ds. It's funny because they're taking both of these two different types of Zeldas that used to be pretty different as far as, you know, the way that you played them, and kind of moving them both towards the same general concept, which is just sandbox, which I don't hate. I mean, I do want 2D Zeldas, and I'm interested to see how this is going to play out, if it's really going to be open world, the way that we've seen them do with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, because they are definitely pulling from those games. And I'm going to go over a few things right here that we've already talked about in the podcast. But one, the regions are named some of the same things they're named in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. We got the Elden region. We have Gorons now.
Yep.
Gorons in 2D.
So cute.
Look at them. Oh my God, they're cute. They're so cute. Kakariko Village is right under the mountain. That's a Ocarina of Time type thing. I mean, the quest logs look the same. The way that the menus are set up looks the same. The waypoints. We didn't talk about the waypoints.
Yeah,
that's something we talked about last time we talked about this. That we were like, those things right there. That's fast travel.
Yeah,
that's fast travel.
That's exactly what it is.
We're right about that. There's horses in this game. Not only do you get a horse, you don't just get a horse. You clearly get more than one horse. They showed us two different horses, and Zelda riding both of them.
Yeah.
So does that mean there's going to be stables like there are?
Ooh, I didn't think about that. Stables.
Yeah, stables.
It's got to be stables, right?
How many horses are you going to be able to get? Are they going to be wild? Are they going to, like, what are we going to do with this? It's very exciting to see all this come together. There's so much more, and I'm gonna run down a few of these real quick. The smoothie shop. We are getting cooking. We know that.
Yeah.
Also from those games. Outfits, accessories. Those are going to help with different weather and different environments. Same as the other games. One thing we didn't talk about, we haven't talked about in this podcast yet, is bind.
Yes.
Now, this is basically the ability to, it's Ultra Hand, right? It's basically Ultra Hand from Tears of the Kingdom, or Magnesis from Breath of the Wild. You can pull chests out of the ground. You can move things. You can attach this is different. You can attach yourself to things, which is cool.
Yes, that's very cool.
How are you feeling about this? How are you feeling about Bind in general being in this 2D game?
I love Bind. I think it's a great addition. I think it's a really creative way to kind of solve puzzles in and around the area, traversing the land. I'm sure in dungeons, which that's something we didn't talk about in the show either.
Oh yeah, we haven't really seen a dungeon yet. We may have. We don't know. We don't know what those rooms are. But
right. But like again, if we're taking from Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, dungeons are not a huge part of those games. There are dungeons, but as we all know, they're not exactly the dungeons we used to love in the old Zelda games. So
that's scary.
So like in 2D Zelda, that dungeons are the game. Like that is the game in 2D Zelda. So now that there's all these 3D open world features in 2D Zelda, are they going to take also that aspect of it and really make dungeons a kind of downer point of the game? Like,
that's scary.
They're there, but they're not quite. Oh, you just got to use sticky hand the entire time and you're fixed. The dungeon's complete. You know, are we going to get those brain busting puzzles? Are we going to get those true?
I hope, because I mean, listen, and we've talked about this several times, but Tears of the Kingdom did better than Breath of the Wild did with dungeons. Still not what I want.
Yep.
Very close. Two of them were what I wanted.
Super close.
Yeah, just so close. Almost. Don't take dungeons away from us, please. Not in 2D. You gotta leave that. You cannot take that away from us in this. I don't think they will. I think that's still gonna be probably the general way you go around, get your items, because they said they're items.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We are getting stuff like that, accessories and outfits. So we're not getting just breakable weapons that you can just find anywhere, probably.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get this stuff that you need. And dungeons are the place to do that. So I feel like they're not going to take them away from us here. Hopefully. Mm-hmm. Are we going to have Link's Awakening problems where every time you switch to a new
frame
screen,
rates.
you're getting
So
frame rate
I don't
issues?
think we're getting switching. I think it's going to be a smooth transition all throughout the whole thing. I think the camera's going to follow.
It's just going to be building as it comes close.
Yeah, it's cool. It's going to be building before you get into like it's going to be built.
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
You're not going to see the building happening, and if you do,
Well, obviously, really yes. I'm just saying. I think that's what they tried to do with Link's Awakening. It just didn't work.
Yeah, yeah. But I actually did notice a couple times in the trailer, this new trailer and the old trailer, a couple times where there were some frame rate dips.
Really?
Yeah. If you
I haven't even got to look into it that hard.
If you look for it, you can find them. Maybe it was internet lag. That's possible too. That like it just got the video buffered or something. Like that's also possible. But like, and it's not like egregious. I don't want to sound like I'm trashing it because there was a couple times where I saw it and I didn't even know if I saw it or not. Like that's how minuscule it was. And I think they're doing a really good job of hiding it if there are some issues. But I think we saw, like, last time we saw this game was just a few minutes, really. But this is like 5 solid minutes of real gameplay.
Yeah.
And we saw some stuff, I did at least. There were some times where it stuttered a little bit, where the frame rate dropped. I think this game is not going to live at 60. I think it will, like, be at 60 and suddenly it'll be like 47. And, like, you're not really going to know the difference because it's still, like, really high. But there's a couple, like, it gets jittery at some points. Not jittery in a bad way.
I bet this game's not going to be 60.
No, it is 60. It is absolutely. It is. You look at the trailer, it's 60. But what I'm saying is there will be times.
There will be times where itself might not be though. They show us games in 4K, and the Switch doesn't even do 4K.
Nintendo doesn't do variable frame rate games. They either do 30 or they do 60. They don't do anything in between. So it's going to be 60. This is because it is running at 60 for a majority of the time in the trailers. It will be a 60 FPS game. Don't mistake that. What I'm saying is. It's going to drop. I don't know if it's going to have the exact issues, maybe some slightly different issues now that it's a different style game than Link's Awakening. But there's going to be issues. There's no doubt in my mind. It's the Switch. It's going to have some issues. People are going to run with it. People are going to cause havoc with the lower frame rates, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's going to look beautiful.
Zelda using a hook shot. Ooh. Yes. Give me a hook shot. She needs a hook shot. No, claw shot. Double claw shot.
Well, I think we can confirm that there is no hook shot because we have sticky hand. I mean, that kind of takes up that kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could use, because that's the cool thing about it. Like I said, like they give you this general tool, and they've made the physics kind of like open-ended. So it's like you see her attach herself to a spider that climbs up, like the spider's just gonna climb up the wall, even though you're connected.
Yeah.
Or you can connect it to a bird and wait till it takes off, and you're flying with the bird. So
yeah,
you're right. You're probably right. We're probably not gonna see anything like a hook shot because I mean, they've just made everything so open-ended, sandbox style. You can just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy to see, like we saw with Tears of the Kingdom, people just building crazy shit. And they did it in Breath of the Wild a little bit too. I feel like
oh, dude,
this is going to be one of those things where we just see people do some really creative stuff, how to move around the map and like different things that they're using to solve puzzles. Because it's going to be that again. It's going to be, look at all this stuff we have. Here's a puzzle. There's who knows how many ways to solve it. Have fun.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what people are going to be able to come up with, just like they came up with interesting things in Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to see what they do in this 2D Zelda game that, like, is, we don't know buildings in there yet, like, but, like, come on, like, it might be, like, I don't know about building.
Yeah, like crafting.
Like crafting, and man, there could be some really interesting things that people are going to be able to do with this that never have been done before in a 2D Zelda game. In 3DS, but now we're going to see the 2D version of that in Echoes of Wisdom, so that's really interesting.
It's wild. It's wild to look at this and see what they've done with Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, now unexpectedly moving all that to 2D. I mean, it's exciting. It's very exciting to see them implement this stuff, and I don't even think we've seen all of it yet. As we talked about earlier, there's still 3 places on the D-pad, and bind doesn't even take up one of those places. It's a whole nother ability on a different thing. There's no way they're going to give us one thing on the side of that D-pad and not fill the other parts up with something. So we're getting more.
Yeah.
I have a feeling around this time next month, we're getting another trailer. A little bit before the game comes out, we'll probably see Link. We'll probably see the rest of the basic abilities. And then we're going to be playing this thing, man. I'm excited.